Hello and welcome to Sideways. This week we're talking about what is supposedly the most depressing day of the year. Martin does some research into where the idea came from and the factors that underpin it. And we also talk about illness and Pokemon Go. Blue Monday.
Good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
How are you doing?
Well, do you want the standard answer to that question or do you want the honest one?
Yeah, people just normally say, I'm all right, thanks, at that point, don't they?
Yeah, that's what you expect. Crikey, there's no... Oh, you've disappeared. No, there you are. You're arriving in a variety of hues.
Yeah, I'm just trying to get the lighting right so I can see my notes properly,
Right.
but still appear on the screen.
Yeah, well, thanks for asking. I'm not very well, and I haven't been very well since Friday. And to be honest, today's the first day I've kind of been out of bed most of the day. So
I know I've been contacting you over the last couple of days, and the answers on text have been very short and to the point. So I know that you're ill. I know you must be ill when that happens. So I understand what you've been going through, because I had a little bit of a tickly cough myself. I had a bit of a sore throat. In fact, I think it was me that called off the original recording on Sunday, saying I don't think my voice is up for it, and you said you were ill at the same time, which was a bit bizarre.
I don't. Yes. Well, not to demean your illness, but I've had a bit more than a tickly throat. Friday night I had a fever of 40 degrees.
Did you? You spontaneously combust at that.
I virtually was. Everyone listening will know what this is like, and it's actually, I think, difficult to recall the horror of it when you're not in it. But like those times when you have a whole night of fever dreams.
Oh yeah.
Where you just cannot stop your mind worrying over the same things, and you know that they're going over things that you don't want to think about or that are completely nonsensical, but whatever you do, your mind keeps going back to them. It's debilitating. So in that sense, it definitely was a blue Monday for me.
Ah, well, that was it, because Sunday started feeling ill, and Blue Monday, we were both feeling ill on Blue Monday. Which is what I want to talk about, that's surprising, isn't it? You led me in quite nicely there, didn't you?
Yeah. Well, you see, there's obviously still a little bit of brain capacity there, but not much.
Well, yeah, I'll tell you why I wanted to talk about Blue Monday. Well, we've just gone by it, haven't we? If we were recording it on Sunday, we'd have been a day in advance, but this goes out on Thursday. So we're starting to move away from Blue Monday now, which is good for us all, isn't it? Because it falls on the third Monday of January each year, and it's supposedly the most depressing day of the year. And so I think you'd probably look back on the third Monday in January 2022 and say, I was feeling particularly blue and hallucinating badly that day.
Yeah, certainly. Blue Monday this year I would consider to be blue. But I wouldn't generally consider Blue Monday to be blue. I like January. I like the winter. In fact, on balance, certainly heat-wise, I prefer it to the summer.
Well, I was going to come on to some of that, because I know that you're very much a winter sort of person. But before we get into the meat of what I want to talk to you about, there was a story that took my eye this week. In fact, the incident took place originally in 2017, but it's only just come into the public domain now after the people involved lost their appeal against their dismissal from work for gross misconduct. It did make me laugh a bit, but there's probably a bit of a serious undertone here. But it's in America. There's two police officers in the Los Angeles Police Department, the LAPD, dude.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
In the LAPD. And they were fired for ignoring a robbery in progress so that they could go and play Pokemon Go, which is not much of a defence, is it really, when you say, why didn't you go and there's people in serious danger? Oh, well, I fancy a bit of Pokemon Go. I mean, the situation apparently was all recorded on their equipment in the car, so they were banged to rights. But apparently the incident was called in on the radio, but they steamed off to find two rare Pokemon. Apparently there was a Snorlax and a Tagetic or a Togetic. I mean, I don't know these. I've never played Pokemon, or certainly not Pokemon Go, so I'm probably not pronouncing those correctly, and I'm sure people will put us right. But yeah, it made me laugh a little bit. But seriously,
yeah,
going to rely on these people.
That is a bit of a dereliction of duty, isn't it?
Yeah.
They're obviously when the Pokemon Go craze was really at its zenith, I think there must have been something worth finding around St. Luke's Church, because I always used to see people hanging around out there, walking up and down with their phones with their Pokemon Go app open. So I don't know, it was all a complete mystery to me, but
It was to me, but I remember my youngest daughter was living in Newbury at the time, in the town centre, and her flat overlooked the clock tower at the top end of the high street there, and that must have been a real hot spot as well, because she could see loads of people running around there. And her partner Jake, when he used to come across, he could sit in the flat and pick up these Pokemon Go that were running around.
And did he do that?
Yeah, he did. Yeah, he was well into it.
Because that was the other thing that surprised me. I imagine, not knowing anything about Pokemon, that it was something that would just kind of be infusing the kids. But I can remember I had a client when Pokemon Go had been a bit of a rage for a few months. I can remember him sitting with me one day, telling me about all the things that were kind of going wrong in his life. And some of them were quite significant things. And he added to the list, and he said to me, and I haven't even played Pokemon Go yet. And I thought, wow, that obviously says something about the significance that people place on stuff like that when they'll kind of put it alongside a whole host of other emotional and mental health issues. So there we are. Maybe I should have got more into it, and I would have understood it a bit better.
Well, yeah, me too, really. But apparently it was very addictive, and people.
Yeah, you shouldn't do it. You definitely, you should definitely steer clear.
Yeah, I think I've.
You'd be avoiding group so that you could go find a rare Pokemon.
Yeah, especially if there's some to be found right outside the recovery hub in Maidstone. I'd have gone on then and run away quickly. But it never appealed to me. But I know it did, and it was massively popular, wasn't it, for quite a long time? So anyway, should we get back to the subject matter?
Yeah, can we? Yeah.
I don't want to keep you too long, really.
No,
mate.
good idea.
I can see the pain in your eyes. But the idea of Blue Monday, I just want to go back to that, because this was supposedly conceived, and I'll come back to this supposedly, it was conceived by Dr. Cliff Arnold, who was a tutor at Cardiff University in 2005. Now, 2005, so it's way after the single by New Order was released, which was back in 1986. So it wasn't taken from then, but you can probably tell where my Spotify search went this week.
Yeah, it wasn't difficult, to be honest, as soon as I knew what you wanted to talk about.
This Dr. Cliff Arnold, the reason he was involved, he's a life coach and a psychologist, and he created a formula to determine the saddest day of the year. I'm not sure of his motivation for doing that, but anyway, that's what he did, supposedly. And he came up with this date based upon a few factors, okay? Mm-hmm. Now, the factors that he took into account were the very short daylight hours around this time of year.
Yeah.
Normally the bad weather.
Yeah.
People can see another few months of winter stretching out ahead, which is, that's sort of those first three that I've mentioned there. It sort of sums up sort of the seasonally affective disorder, I think it's called, isn't it? Or SAD. Mm-hmm. Yeah, a very, very fitting acronym, which obviously is a complaint, or it is a mental health issue, which we're all very aware of. But you in fact, you suffer from the opposite of that, don't you? You're very happy.
Presumably, you are coming back to this kind of idea of dissenters who don't find winter difficult, or
I am going to come on to that. There's a few more bits. There's a few more factors that he was looking at here as well, which is makes it easier to sort of dismiss, I suppose. But one of the other factors he came up with, that there's a long gap between paydays, and I thought, well, I don't know. That's probably.
What does that mean? What does that mean? How is there a longer gap in January than there is in any other month?
I don't know. Well,
the odd day.
Sometimes people get paid early for Christmas.
Do they?
Yeah, they do. Some companies will pay people a couple of weeks early. So effectively, you've got to sort of, rather than a 4-week wait until your next payday, it's 6 weeks. So it does happen.
Right. What? So people get paid early so they can go out on the lash?
Well, exactly. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, encourages that bad behaviour.
Like Boris Johnson.
We don't mention politics or football or religion. It's all left on the
I know, but I've not been very well, so I can't help it. My mind's disturbed at the moment.
But one of the other factors was feeling low after the seasonal sort of festivities and celebrations.
Oh, okay, yeah. Which
I think, to my mind, that's quite a long time in the past, really, isn't it? I think most people have taken their trees down, moved on, gone back to work. But again, that was a factor. Coming to terms with Christmas-induced debt, I thought was quite an interesting one.
Yeah, that's quite good, actually. But I mean, again, I've got to be careful here not to try and be dismissive of the whole idea of Blue Monday, even though I am slightly. But that kind of, I think the question of post-Christmas debt is obviously a very real thing for some people.
Yeah.
But I don't know why you concentrate it on one day in January. What's he suggesting? That you worry about it on Blue Monday and the rest of the time you're completely fine?
Yeah, Tuesday comes, you just
get out spaffing your money again.
Just get a new credit card. Sorry, I'm on my way. But the next one, which will chime with you, that New Year's resolutions have already failed by that time, which we know. We talked about that, haven't we?
Yeah, I mean, that one has a bit more credence, doesn't it? Because, yes, by 2 weeks in, I mean, I think I don't know, I'm sure there's lots of research on how long people maintain habits, but if you start something 2 weeks later, I reckon that's probably about the time when you've let it go because it's just become too hard to sustain. So it makes sense that would be around sort of 13th, 14th of the month, doesn't it? Or whatever it is.
It does. Especially people that are doing dry January, for example. They've probably got to that point and thought, you know, I can't do this. I'm going to have a drink. Which is a whole. We've talked about these dry Januaries in the past, haven't we? Don't really want to go into that moment, but the last factor really was that Monday traditionally is the most depressing day of the week for many.
Again, I can understand that one. I think, though, partially Monday being the most depressing day of the week is, like so many things, it is so because we have kind of convinced ourselves that is the case.
Yeah.
I mean, it's just a day, isn't it? It's just, if you're getting depressed one assumes that if people are getting depressed on a Monday, it's because they've got 5 days of work ahead.
Yeah.
Right. So if that's the case, then my take on that would be you've probably got, 50 plus years of working. So when you start to realize you're depressed on a Monday because of your work, it might be time to think about what you're doing for a living.
That was going through my mind as you said that. You're probably doing the wrong job.
But if you do feel like that, as so many people do, but then they get to this kind of point in their lives where they think, well, this is my life, this is what I do. I find that it's upsetting almost, that people feel so kind of stuck in their, doing things that they don't want to do, that they almost don't realise that they could get out and do something different.
It's a very good point, and that comes up in groups quite a lot, where we encourage people to take as much time out of their careers whilst they're addressing their addiction issues. And take the chance, especially if the job or career they've been in has been in any way part of the cause while their addiction has got out of control, or their imbibing has got out of control. In fact, it came up just at the meeting on Saturday, where someone was thinking about new into recovery, but thinking exactly about that. We're saying this is a great chance to change everything at this point.
Yeah. You've still got a cough, haven't you? There.
I'm still struggling a bit, mate. Yeah.
Yeah, luckily we've not been hospitalised. We could have done it from adjacent hospital beds, couldn't we?
That would have been good, wouldn't it? I wouldn't have had my notes in front of me. I might have been a bit troubled.
Now, you could have used, they've always got a little clipboard at the bottom of the bed, haven't they, in hospitals? Yeah. You could have used a bit of scrap paper on that or something.
Well, there's a lot of rubbish they write on that. I don't understand. Yeah, exactly.
Well, as long as they do, that's the only thing that matters, isn't it?
There's a whiteboard up in most of the places as well.
Is there?
In there, well, they put on the times, how long it's going to be before you can see the doctor and all that, which is regularly rubbed out and changed and that sort of thing.
All right. Well, whether you've had your bedpan.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We've had a nice bed bath. And
Exactly.
when we last had one of those.
Right.
When you've been last turned, in case you alleviate the sores.
I reckon I would have needed to have been turned over the weekend.
Anyway, we go back to this report by this Dr. Cliff Ansell fella, or no, not Cliff Arnold. His report that he'd come up with apparently was then jumped upon by one of the executives at Sky Travel.
Okay.
Yeah, and he published part of his report in a press release, and he added on to this list of factors. He added on, it's a long time until your next holiday. So he's using that then as a reason that you can relieve your stress. It's Blue Monday, you're feeling really depressed. I'll tell you what would be good for you. Book yourself up a holiday. Now, I suppose that may work for some. I mean, if we refer back to our season 3, episode 20 podcast called Holiday Stress, he would know how much that would be. That would pile on way more anxiety issues for me, certainly. Yeah,
that would create a Blue Monday for me. Wouldn't alleviate one.
Well, no.
And the other two things that strike me are, so the suggestion there, you're experiencing Blue Monday, you know what you should do, book a holiday. So one, the subtext there is worsen your post-Christmas debt.
Yeah.
And the second one is wish yourself into the future so that you don't have to deal with the now.
And hasn't that come up a lot of times over the last couple of years doing these podcasts?
Yeah, exactly.
Anyway, many of the specialists that have looked at this have sort of poo-pooed this idea. They're saying that Blue Monday, it lacks any credible evidence. In fact, I think, but the most important part was there's a guy called Stephen Buckley. Now he's head of information at the mental health charity Mind. So, I think Mind is a great charity, and we do a lot of work. We do a lot of work. We have a lot of people that come to groups who we encourage to go and seek advice and to get help from Mind as well, because it's so inextricably linked us people with addiction issues and the mental health issues that run alongside it, or in some cases cause it. So I've got a lot of time for that particular charity. And what he says, and I'm going to just quote him here. He says, suggesting that there is a single day when depression somehow strikes more than usual feeds misinformation and trivializes what for many people is a very serious issue that they have to deal with every day of their lives. Now, isn't that just the truth? Absolutely.
Yeah, it's absolutely right. And, it's like it's pathologizing something that for many people is perfectly natural. People who aren't weird like me, of course, you're going to feel slightly less upbeat when it's cold, dark, when there's less natural light, where perhaps you've got a little bit less money. Of course, you're going to feel a little bit lower. You wouldn't be human if you didn't, would you? But by pathologizing it and saying, this is a time when people feel like that, we are being kind of disrespectful to people who are genuinely struggling with depression.
Yeah, which is why we talked about it just a minute ago about dry January, and I think it trivialises people with alcohol issues, and which is one of the reasons I'm not in favour of it. But again, I think we could do a whole episode on that. I don't want to go too far down that particular rabbit hole.
You do dry January, don't you?
I do. I think it's
dry February.
I think it's my 11th or 12th. No, it'd be my 11th in a row. Yeah.
Yeah, but you've also got 11 in a row, dry February, March, Aprils, and so on.
Exactly. All those months in between, mate. Yeah.
Yeah.
Anyway, what was quite good about when this was being discussed, the Samaritans have jumped on this a bit as well, and they've turned it around. And this year, they're hosting what they call a brew, instead of a Blue Monday, they call it a Brew Monday.
Oh, nice.
My first thought was, no, it doesn't sound very good. It means you got to go out and have a brew.
No, I thought it was a cup of tea, isn't it, surely?
down the brewery. Well, exactly. My mind, I suppose it's because my background, I automatically thought, oh no, they're talking about, getting lashed. But no, it's exactly right.
The Samaritans. The Samaritans suggesting people go out and get hammered.
Well, no. Well, I couldn't understand it at all. So I had to read on further. Because I went onto their website, and what it states is, they say that it's time to stop this myth about Monday being blue and instead start a conversation over a brew, over a cup of tea. Reach out and connect with family, friends, and loved ones. And there's info also online on their website about how you can hold your own Brew Monday event, either virtually or in person, and how you can raise money for the charity. So that money that's being raised for charity has got to be better spent there than spending it on a holiday. Absolutely
right, yeah. Although, just thinking about that, it's one of the things I've completely lost interest in drinking since I've been ill. When you can't face a cup of tea.
Yeah, God, yeah, you must have been ill then, mate.
Yeah, that's 4 days now. I haven't been able to face a cup of tea.
Wow.
So Brew Monday would have been absolutely no good to me at all. I'd have been... Brew Monday would have made me feel blue.
Well, you see, I mean, that's the which you must have been very poorly then, because that's the elixir for us Englishmen, really, isn't it?
It is really. Yeah. Yeah, I still don't fancy one. Couldn't face it.
Wow.
But the Samaritans are absolutely right about that. I was talking to I've talked to a few people actually recently about addressing feelings of depression or low mood, I suppose, in January. And I suppose what the Samaritans are suggesting there, or the subtext is, that you just have to embrace it. You can't change the way the seasons are. You just have to, you either have to find the good in it, or if you can't find any good in it, you just have to say, okay, well, this is the way it is. It happens every year, and I'm just going to have to cling on until, we get to March and it starts getting a bit lighter and sunnier and a bit warmer.
I agree. And I think by having a Blue Monday, it's almost like a predetermination that you are going to be pissed off on that day and depressed and anxious. So, once you name it, you're going to live up to it.
Yeah.
So, no, I agree. I think it's time to quash the myth and to move away from that. So, yeah, I like the way that the Samaritans have dealt with that.
Basically, the premise of Blue Monday is Poo Monday, isn't it?
Well, it's been poo-pooed by a lot of experts.
Poo-poo Monday. Right? It should be called.
But because there's been a lot of disquiet around this theory of Blue Monday, and one of the stories that's going around, it was actually Sky Travel themselves that made this up.
I think that's what I heard.
Then paid this geezer at Cardiff University to put his name to it. And apparently that the reason that came to light is because they'd tried several other people beforehand who said, no, I'm not going to get involved in that. And so I suppose they must have given quite a nice little brown envelope to old Cliffy boy, and off he went and said, yeah, okay, I'll put my name to that one. Now, I can't say that's definitely happened. It's been suggested. In case, I don't want him listening to this and coming after us. So
yeah,
that's my
we haven't got any lawyers, so we'd be in trouble if we were suggesting that.
We would, unless there's someone, there's a lawyer that's listening who would happily
wants to defend us. Yeah. That would be a terrible job, wouldn't it, defending us? Good Lord.
They've had trouble in the past, let's put it that way.
Yeah.
So that's, I think we ought to keep this one fairly short.
Yeah, that's a good idea. Although I just got one more thought about this whole kind of Blue Monday, January thing, which is...
Go on.
You mentioned it earlier when I think one of the reasons that people feel blue is that their New Year's resolutions have fallen by the wayside.
Yeah.
I can't remember if we spoke about this last week or not, but I always think January is you should give yourself January off. Don't bother trying to make changes in January. Just chill out in January. Wait till February or March. Do the exact opposite from all the things you think you should be doing in January, because it's quite tough. It's hard. I'm looking out the window now. It's all foggy and it's cold and I've got a headache. I mean, I don't want to be going down the gym 3 times a week at the moment. So just be a bit kind to yourself in January. Then it won't feel quite so blue, perhaps.
Well, perhaps that's right. But someone put on the WhatsApp group earlier on, the Aspire to Be WhatsApp group, saying, they just said, look, it's 4:00 and it's still light. Yay. So
Exactly.
we are moving away from the winter solstice, and things are starting to look better.
Sounds like you're going towards gratitude there.
Well, I'm going towards gratitude because we're all grateful, aren't we, for the days drawing out.
And this time of year, I just to follow on from that comment that was put in the chat, I always like to look out for the first little new buds that always make you think. I mean, I know we're some way from spring, but you can find even now. You can find them. You can find them. I mean, obviously, depending on where you are in the world, but if you're in the UK, you can find them. And it really does lift your spirits just to see a little, green bud coming off a branch.
Yeah, it does. It does. I quite like the point in the year where it's still 3 or 4 months away now, but in the communal gardens we have around here, it's been laid up quite nicely with different colours. And so I know when spring's on its way, when you get a whole range of different colours all melting in with each other, all coming together, and it looks lovely. And so I like that because we're going away from the brown, and the darkness of where we are at the moment. Do
you ever go out into the communal gardens in the sort of nice weather when there's people kind of sitting around having a picnic or a drink or whatever and wonder if it's a work do?
You had to get Boris back in again, didn't you? Yeah.
Anyway,
exactly.
Gratitude.
So that's your gratitude. My gratitude, really. It's a bit of a
no, I haven't told you my gratitude yet.
I thought you said you were grateful for.
No, I didn't. I just said that's a nice thing to look at. I got something else for my gratitude list this week.
Oh, okay. Go on then.
All right. Well, I got 4 things.
4? Crikey, you are grateful this week.
Aspirin.
Okay.
Paracetamol. Paracetamol and ibuprofen, because you can take them together.
Okay.
And I've needed to. Okay. My family doing everything for me. And my dog, who usually, as you know, it can be a bit aloof. Yeah. But since I've been ill, wherever I've been in the house, she's come and lay next to me.
Oh.
Yeah. So I'm grateful I'm grateful for that this week. You'll go.
And so you should be. I'm sure that's where dogs really do come into their own.
It is.
And having watched, I've only watched the first 3 episodes of Afterlife so far, but obviously Brandy the dog plays a big role in that. Yeah. So don't spoil it for me, because I know
I won't do that. Well, it wouldn't just be spoiling it for you, would it?
If it's spoiling it for a lot of people who haven't watched it yet. But yeah, I've been taking it slowly because I know what I'm like.
It's unusual for you, isn't it?
It is. Well, yeah. Well, I know how to temper these behaviours.
Good to hear.
Yeah. Well, on my gratitude list, it's a kind of strange one, really, but I'm grateful for my virtual reality headset that I've got recently.
Okay. Usually, I know I'd have a more significant response to that. I'm not quite sure what to say about that, to be honest.
Well, I remember talking about virtual reality headsets when I went to the Van Gogh exhibition we talked about last week. And that was about 3 weeks ago now. And having worn a virtual reality headset, I thought, I've got to have more of this. This is just phenomenal. Right. And so I managed to get hold of one at the weekend, and it's mind blowing.
Okay, I know. Maybe we should talk about it afterwards, because I don't suppose the listener wants to listen to it. No. But what are you looking at with it on?
Meditation. There's some fantastic meditation ones on there. Travel, which you can go and you get the art galleries, which you can go in virtually and look around them. It's just I've only just the tip of the iceberg on it, but it's just vast, and you're in this immense world. It's breathtaking.
Don't don't get yourself into any virtual pubs, will you?
A virtual pint? No, exactly. I don't suppose that's available, but I bet it probably is somewhere if you find it. But
can you do extreme sports?
Yeah. Well, it's skiing and that sort of thing, and
I think that'd be terrifying. And what about sort of scary horror type things? Can you do that sort of stuff?
Again, I've only just got into it really, so I've only just exploring my way around it. But certainly you get motion sickness. There's a roller coaster one I went on. I had to take my headset off because I started to feel sick.
Oh, that's interesting. Okay, that's a good one. I like that.
I'll bring it round. You can have a go at some point.
Yeah, definitely not until I'm better, because that would finish me off, I think, at the moment.
Yeah, it would. The meditation ones, though, mate. Honestly, you should. I've been reading about it. A lot of therapists are encouraging people to use VR meditation because it is just mind blowing. It's just fantastic.
Sounds good.
But anyway, we'll do an episode on it perhaps at some point.
Good idea. Yeah, VR meditation. That's a good idea. Okay.
Exactly what the benefits are.
Yeah.
So that was. I don't know if it's grateful that I've got one or not. I was just excited about it. But
I think it's grateful. It's grateful. It's grateful that you have the opportunity to have one and enjoy it. I think you can be grateful about that. There's nothing wrong with that.
Yeah, good. That's all right then. I didn't want it to sound a bit too materialistic. But it was.
There's nothing wrong with a bit of materialism sometimes, as long as it doesn't rule your life.
No, exactly. It's rare that I buy things for myself, so I'm okay with that. So yeah, normally we'd go onto the Spotify search at this point, but I just didn't bother. I just put Blue Monday by New Order straight on there. It's job done.
Yeah, because obviously I knew you'd put the original version on there, but of course that must be one of the most covered songs in history, isn't it? So many people have covered that.
I don't know. I don't know if it is or not. But I mean,
I've heard a lot of covers of that. I don't know if there's lots on Spotify. Maybe there's a lot of kind of underground indie ones, but
probably I didn't even look. But,
no, I didn't think you would have done.
It's just. I mean, I think it was the best-selling 12-inch single of all time, wasn't it?
Was it?
I know I've got.
More popular than "Don't Stop Believing" by Journey.
Did they release that on 12-inch?
I expect so. I don't know. Or, I don't know, Hollywood Nights by Bob Seger.
I think they're playing into significance really, and obviously New Order came out of the oldest reincarnation of Joy Division, which is one of the greatest bands of all time. So I was going to be a little bit biased towards it anyway, but it is a fabulous track.
Okay, good. So we're done.
Okay, so that's about it then, mate. So anyway,
good stuff.
You can cut out some of this, take it easy, and I'll see you soon.
See you soon. Bye.
Be good. Bye.
Sideways was created by Graham Landy and Martin Pankhurst. If you want to read more about our work or sort through the extensive archive of past episodes, just visit grahamlandywellbeing.co.uk/sideways-podcast. You can follow us on Twitter or Facebook or Instagram at Sideways Podcast, and you can email us if you have a question or if there's something you'd like us to cover. But most of all, we want to tell you how grateful we are that you come and listen, and we ask that if you've enjoyed what you've heard, that you spread the word. And we'll see you next week.